Hi everyone, this is LeetCode problem number 15, threesome. So here we are given an integer array and we have to find all the unique triplets such that a, b plus c is equals to 0. Now the very first approach that comes to my mind is brute force approach. Like we can go through all the triplets and we can see if that is summing up to 0. And then we can keep adding them onto the answer, but again the time complexity of that would be O of n cube, which could be slow. So another approach that comes to my mind is that we can short this array and we can reduce the problem to the two sum for the rest of the array. So what I'm trying to say is that we'll short the array and we'll fix index I, we'll fix I index, and then we'll use 2 pointer for the remaining part, 2 pointer for rest. Okay, probably when I dry run this we'll get much better idea. So I'll just short it. After shorting, the array is -4, -1, -1 again, 0, 1, 2. Let me just write indexes for my reference. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we are gonna do is that we'll start with index I is equals to 0, and we know nums of I is -4. Okay, now obviously so I'm fixing this. Left I'm gonna be starting from this side and right I'm gonna be starting from this side. So let's say my left index is 1, right index is 5, my nums of left is -1, my nums of right is 2, and the sum is -3. So my sum is -3, which is less than 0, so we don't have to take, we cannot add it. We'll just do left plus plus. Since this is a lower sum, we'll do left plus plus. After doing left plus plus, left becomes 2. Like I've said, index I we have fixed. Now left is equals to 2, right remains same, nums of I is -4, nums of left is again -1, nums of right is 2, -3, again this is 0, left plus plus. One more thing we can do is that we could check if nums of I is equals to nums of I plus 1. In that case we could do left plus plus directly. While coding we'll take care of that. So now my left is here. Okay, now my left is 3, nums is 5, nums of I 4, nums of left is 0, nums of right remains the same, sum is -2. -2 is also less than this, so again we'll do left plus plus. Now this is 4. Okay, right is 5 only, -4, 1 and 2. If we sum it, it is -1. -1 is less than 0, and again we'll do left plus plus, and obviously because we want 3, now my left will also become 5, so we'll come out of the loop. So we are stopping this because my left became equal to right. So now we'll increase our I. Now my I is pointing to 1, my left will be pointing to 2, again right will be pointing to 5. My nums of I is nothing but -1, nums of left is also -1, nums of right is 2. Is there some 0? Yes, their sum is 0. So what we are going to do is that we'll save it in our answer. Let's say -1, -1, comma 2. Okay, and since we want to skip the duplicates, we'll do left plus plus, right, minus minus. So again my I remains 1, left is 3, right is 4, nums of I is minus 1, left is 0, right is 1, again this is 0. So we'll add this in our result array, and we'll have this. Again, to avoid the duplicates, we'll do left plus plus, right minus minus. Now since my left and right would be right would be greater than left, so we'll stop this loop. Now I will be equal to 2. And now since nums of nums of 1, okay, I'll just write it. Nums of 1 is equals to nums of 2. We can just skip the second part because it's gonna be the same thing. So now we'll focus on when the I value is equals to 3. So let's say, let me just erase this a little bit. Yep. So now my I is pointing here. My left will point to 4, my right will point to 5. Nums of I is 0. This is 1, this is 2. Their sum would be 3, and this is obviously greater than 0, so we'll do right minus minus. Again, left and right are pointing to the same thing, so we'll stop. So we'll stop the loop over here. Okay. Now, yes, that's it. Now I is equals to 4 and 5 obviously does not make sense because left would cross the right loop. So the final answer that we have is, let me write in blue. Yep. So the final answer that we have is this and this, which is 1, minus 1, 2, comma, minus 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay. So now this has time complexity of O of n square. O of n square. Okay, now let's code it so that we have a better understanding. Okay, so I'm gonna store my answer in a variable called ans, and my answer would be a form vector of vector int. Okay, now I'm gonna obviously have the size int nums dot size, and like we had discussed that when we have it 3 sum or 2 sum, first what we'll do is that we'll short the array that is given to us. So short nums dot begin, comma, nums dot end. Okay, so now we are gonna iterate through the array. Int I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, so while iterating, what we had decided is that if we have duplicates, we're gonna skip them. So for skipping them, what I'm gonna check is that if my I is greater than 0, and if nums of my I is equal to nums of I minus 1, that means I have duplicates. I'm gonna skip them. I'm just gonna continue with rest of the procedure. Now I'm gonna assign my left pointer to I plus 1, my right pointer to n minus 1. Okay, and while these pointers don't overlap or cross each other, in that window I'm gonna perform sum. I'm gonna perform the 3 something. So I'm gonna say, let's say my sum is nothing but nums of I, where I'm currently, plus nums of left, plus nums of right. Okay, now what I was given, if my sum is equals to 0, then I'm gonna push back this to my answer, because then I have had found my answer, right? Push back these three values, nums of I, comma, nums of left, comma, nums of right. Okay, now we have to skip duplicates over here as well, right? So while my left is less than right and my nums of left is equals to my nums of right, I'm just trying to avoid duplicates here. I'm just gonna do left plus plus, left plus plus. Okay, also I also have to do right minus minus. So this is how I'm gonna skip the duplicates. Okay, in case if I don't have duplicates, since I have already recorded the sum, I am supposed to move forward and write minus minus. Now what if my sum is not equal to 0? What if I have not found my target, like which was 0? So if it is less than 0, I'm gonna increase. Since it is shorted, I'm gonna move from left hand side, else I'm gonna move from right hand side, else right minus minus. Yes, and I am gonna return the answer that I have. Okay, yeah, this is working perfectly fine. Let's try submitting it. Okay, now I'm getting a wrong answer. Let's see what we have done. Okay, let's try running through it. Okay, we have initialized this. Sort size is fine. Skip number. Have assigned it to 0 and skip the duplicates in correct manner. Is equals to I minus 1. Yes. I am starting my left from I plus 1. Yes, that is also correct. This is assigned to this. While my this is equals to this, nums of I u plus plus equals to 0. Okay. I'm gonna push back I left and right. Also, okay, this is wrong, right? If my left is equal to left plus 1 and if my right is equals to right minus 1 is how I'm going to be avoiding duplicates. Okay, yeah, let's see if it works now. Try submitting it. Okay, yep, this is working fine. Thank you everyone for watching.